I don't just talk, I do it. Say what I mean and prove it. Stand on 10, no fluking. Straight in the field, no moving. I don't just talk, I do it. Truth in my walk, I use it.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Built by Belief podcast. I'm Cortland.
Dylan. I'm Christian.
Great. And so today's episode is called When Humor Becomes a Hiding Place. So I know that for myself, I'm just throw myself under the bus here. I used to be somebody who joked around all the time, and my words carried little to no weight to them. And people that I was in close proximity to on a consistent basis would look at me crazy like, oh, you're being serious today. Like, what's wrong with you? Or maybe this is just another joke. Or like, you're always sarcastic, which is another form of, joking around. And so when I was being serious, that would frustrate the crap out of me when people would just look at me like, nah, you don't mean it. So I made the decision to start changing. And this is just a few things that I came up with whenever I was kind of reflecting on this topic, and I probably missed some stuff, but there is a time and place for everything, and we see this in the book of Ecclesiastes. But why do some people joke around in serious situations? So got 4 things. They feel exposed or uncomfortable. They don't know how to handle the emotional weight of a serious situation. They want to deflect responsibility. And lastly, they are afraid of being seen as intense or vulnerable. So now I have something, but I also want to be considerate of you guys. I feel like I've been talking for a while, but...
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. I'm rolling.
Really good stuff. Keep going.
Cool. So I've started seeing in times of my life where people would come to me with something serious, and whenever I'm over here joking around with somebody's pain that they're feeling it, I don't see why this person would want to come back to me. Oh, you're just going to make light of it, so why are we even talking? Or I'm just going to go find somebody else. But then I also have to wrestle, because I'm a big thinker, or at least I like to think so. But some people, or the way I see it is, well, how do I know that God didn't place me in this person's life to speak into their life? Now God's got to go find somebody else. I'm not saying be so obsessive compulsive about it. Like, I am the one. It's like, you might be, or you might be the person that's just sowing a seed into this person's life. They need a word of encouragement. They need a word of wisdom, what have you. And in my recent years of just, being more intentional with developing myself, with the people skill books I'm reading, trauma books that I'm reading, I would then have conversations come up out of nowhere, and this person just straight up spills the beans. Like, they tell me what's going on in their life, what they recently went through, what kind of wounded heart they have. And then I'm like, okay, as Eminem says, this looks like a time for me. So I just, you're joking around. But in those moments there, it's like, wow, imagine if I was just the person I used to be, where I was like, oh, because I'm unintentional and I'm joking around with my life, then everyone else is the same way. And that's not the case. So, I'm done on that point for now, but.
Man, that was really good. Really good. Like, we can honestly end it off there, honestly, if we wanted to. Honestly. But that was really good stuff.
That's the end of this episode.
But you really did touch on some really good stuff. Another thing I wanted to elaborate on was when it came to dealing with circumstances. A lot of times as we grow up, those traumas of when we're kids, when the pressures are high around us, a lot of times the only way for us to get out of that high pressure is joking out of it. A lot of times we deal with that, and it's not. A lot of times it's normalized. Not a lot of the. A lot of times it is normalized, simply because the easiest way to get out of a situation is to make light of it. You don't want to be the person to go, "Hey, man, this makes you feel uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about it." You rather just joke your way out of it and kind of laugh it out, rather than confront it and go, "Hey, man, I don't feel comfortable talking about this." Because again, you're seen as weak. You don't want to be exposed, and so. That's when you have to do some deep thinking and go, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel the way to react like this whenever this happens? But a lot of times we don't want to do that. We rather, again, resort to our default and joke our way out of it, because it's the easiest way to get out of that situation. So I feel like it definitely streams from like childhood experience and trauma. Just little things that could have happened. Like we could have had a dad, like, who said like, like do this right and we'll whoop you. And you're like, hey dad, like I'm just joking. Like, you joke it off. Like, hey dad, like I don't mean it. Like I'm joking. It's like, oh, okay. Like that's your way of getting out of it by saying, hey, I'm joking. But you actually felt some way about what you said. But because it counteracted your dad, like he feels a need to react a certain way toward you. And that makes you go, okay, I'm in danger. Fight or flight, make a joke out of it, make light of it. And so, but like you said a second ago, it was really good stuff. So really, really good stuff. Any elaboration, Dylan?
Yeah. Oh, man. Where to begin on that? I mean, so many things I could explore on this, but I know for me growing up, I was, the class clown, I guess you would say. I would joke around all the time in class and
Amen, bro.
crack jokes and make a lot of situations. And I think a big reason I did that was I've experienced my fair share of trauma in the house that I grew up in, as far as it being unpredictable at times, arguments, yelling. I mean, you got curse words being thrown, F-bombs, stuff being broken at times, people getting angry in the house. And reflecting off of that, I would be at school, and the only source of joy I would find in the moment, hiding through that, part of me that was messing around, was me trying to find a sense of joy and distraction from what's going on at home, right? Mm-hmm. I think that speaks to a lot of people listening too, who may have experienced that as well, to where you feel like you have to put on the show, put on the comedy show at school or at your work. But you look deeper into that person, and typically that's them reflecting what they're missing.
Wow.
What they're missing in their life. And that manifests in them, being the class clown or them being the jokester at work, whatever it may be. And it can be a good thing at times, but also it takes away from you healing, Yeah. Any elaboration on that?
That was really good.
Yeah, it was.
There was Mr. Christian?
Go first.
Okay. Well, there was a scripture that I was going to quote here, but it's out of Proverbs 26, verses 18 through 19. Like a madman shooting firebrands and deadly arrows is one who deceives their neighbor and says, I was only joking. So you both touched on this here, but so there's a big difference between the deflective humor. So I heard you say something pretty close to that, Christian. So deflective humor is avoiding truth and avoiding growth. And then there's the grounded humor, so where you can be comfortable in the seriousness, but you're not enslaved to it. So one of the things is, just asking myself, and we can all ask ourselves this, but how much weight do we want our words to carry? Because am I creating more opportunities for people to say, oh, he doesn't really mean that? Christian, you had something, brother?
I was going to say, I'm going to come back to yours in a second. But Dylan, when you said the weight of being in a household that's chaotic and then going to class, going to school, going to work, and being that class clown, whenever you deal with a household that's chaotic like that and you're not receiving the attention you'd like to receive, that's whenever you go out of the house and you make the need to make the attention, if that makes sense. Like you seek it, and you make the attention by being loud, being disruptive. And people will regardless put their attention on you if you're being loud, even if it's annoyance. You believe it or not, even being annoyed is better than being ignored. Like you'd rather have someone be annoyed by you than being ignored.
100%.
And so like we'll like especially like us as men, it's so common, like we'll as kids be annoying, and then as we grow into adults be annoying, because it's the only way for us to get attention. Because if we were quote unquote ourselves, like no one would want to be around us. But that's when you have to realize being yourself will bring the right people into your life. Those who are actually meant to be there and will accept you fully. Well, you haven't put on the mask, the mask of needing to cover it up with funniness. And so again, this was a great topic today, what you talked about, and I'm elaborating again what you said, Cortland, how we do tend to try and make light of the situation by, again, like going back to it, putting a mask on and covering it up. We make light of it, and we don't want to be like in a heavy situation. Like when the situation feels heavy, weighing you down, you're like, man, how can I make light of this? And the easiest way to do it is simply just crack a joke, because like you want to see someone smile, you want to see a way to get you out that hot seat, pretty much. And so learning how to cope with that and learning how to maneuver that and be serious, authentic you, and not have to put on a mask and people go, hey, like, are you okay today? You're not joking as much as you usually do. It's like you shouldn't necessarily want that persona. You should be able to be serious and also be funny too. Like you should be able to talk to someone and have a good conversation without needing to make them laugh. For them to go, okay, this is really Cortland. This is really Dylan. Like he doesn't have to make me laugh for me to accept him, pretty much. But that also involves with you going to work with yourself and figuring out, okay, what are my traumas? What caused me to be like this? And just taking a deeper dive within yourself, and seeing what pulls my strings to make me want to make everyone laugh so bad. And so making light of the situation so bad for me to get off the topic. And again, like Dylan, I remember you told me like when we first met, you even like had like little YouTube videos of like you being funny, and it was a way of you like again expressing yourself. But as you grew older, you kind of became the opposite. Like when we first met, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you were definitely more uptight when we first met.
Yeah.
But then as you grew closer to Christ, you loosened up. So now you're in that middle ground of being funny and being serious now.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, but man, you've come far, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Happy to. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for those of you in the audience who don't know, me and Christian have actually been friends since childhood for about 10 years plus now.
Nice.
I'm in the 6th grade. He's given me enough grace to put up with me for so long. So, but
that bridge of the nose pinch said it all.
Yeah.
oh yeah. I can honestly say he's my brother at this point, you know. And when I first met him, I was in the 6th grade, and going into the 6th grade, I remember in elementary school, I was definitely known as the class clown, you know. I would joke around all the time. Everybody knew me as this funny guy, just always, wreaking havoc and, annoying all the teachers. I was just seeking that attention all the time. And it didn't matter if it was bad attention. At least it was something, right? Mm. And I don't know if, I know you guys have definitely seen this show, but Naruto. Mm. So for those of you who watch Naruto, you know that spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, but the main character Naruto, he has this demon in him, this monster, I guess.
Yeah.
And because of that, it was sealed into his spirit, so it's a part of him. But he didn't ask for that. He didn't ask to get that treatment. He didn't ask for that spirit to be put in him. But the villagers are aware of it, and so they outcast him. They ignore him. Mm. And the way he seeks attention, even if it's not the right attention, is he's the prankster. He's the clown. He's the guy who wreaks havoc on the village. But he would take that ridicule of, oh, it's Naruto again. He's wreaking havoc. He's causing trouble. Somebody stop him. He'd rather get that attention than them just ignoring him altogether. Mm. And I think we can all relate to that. Like we'd rather people outwardly say like, I don't like you. You're causing trouble. Get out of here, right? Than them just to ignore us and say, oh, he's nobody. Just leave him alone. Because that part where they say, oh, just leave him alone. He's nobody. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to be treated in that way. Yeah. And so we seek attention in other ways. And it's like Christian said, I was that class clown, but then I hardened out after a while, because I come to realize that being funny, that can only get you so far, I guess, because it's like Cortland said, sooner or later people aren't going to take you serious. Yeah. And I reached that point to where it's like, well, I can't get my attention anymore, Nobody takes me serious anymore. Yeah.
Or you could be someone's only option for them to have someone speak into their life because there's no one else around.
And so, sorry.
No, you're good, brother. No, you're good. Keep going.
But, to kind of wrap up that topic, though, the biggest thing is whenever you don't make that distinction to be serious at times and pour into people, being funny, like we said, can only get you so far. And so sooner or later, they're not going to take your words serious. And otherwise, also, you looking to make people laugh all the time is you attention seeking as well. And so the intention is not on them, on pouring into them, it's on you. You just want that validation. Yeah. And so really being able to have that balance of it's okay to joke around, but when you joke around all the time, that takes away from times that you could have those serious conversations with them to really shed some light on topics for them, be that helper for them, serve people in that way.
Yeah.
I think a good rule of thumb would be don't play with people's pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, there was one thing, this is kind of related, but typically the person that's, joking around, because I don't want to feel like we're kicking a dead horse here, but I've also seen how, like, if you don't take your life very seriously, you think it's, kind of just all fun and games, that could lead you into just, because you don't take yourself seriously, what kind of people are you allowing yourself to be around and allowing to be around you? And also what kind of environments are you placing yourself in? So just being intentional about that.
Great topic today, yo. Really great topic. Definitely hits home for a lot of us, especially our age group, because a lot of times guys our age, we're not really doing things like this. We're joking around more. Most of the content that's our age is made to make us laugh, which is, it's cool, get cool and all, but back to what Dylan's saying, where's the value in it, though? Where's the value being added to our generation and moving us forward? So give us a Dylan. Let's close this out.
With that being said, this is all we got for y'all. Tune in next week with us with the Built by Belief podcast. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.